officially caught him. Guys, Trump and the FBI, our boy Dan Bongino, has officially made the arrest. The suspect is in custody, the January 6th pipe bomber. And guys, it doesn't stop there. This is a huge day for arrest and investigations. I love it. Dan Bongino has also announced this morning they have begun the investigation into Tim Walz and Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison. This is by the FBI and by Congress, for allowing fraud to happen en masse of billions of dollars. Now that so much billions of dollars have been found, guys, this is insane. You cannot make this up, because remember how I told you how somebody went from being negative $45,000 net worth before Congress and then now $30 million? Representative Ilhan Omar amused reports that evidence is surfacing that figures tied to the Minnesota's $1 billion Somali welfare fraud overlaps with Representative Ilhan Omar's donors, venues, campaign networks. Woo! Guys, this is big. Because remember, these are the same people that are telling us that white men are the problem, America's the problem. They come from these countries that are terrible, and then they try to come and tell us how to live our lives, guys. Insane. If you love this, guys, hit the thumbs up like button. This is what we voted for. These investigations are huge. Not only that, guys, GAO has found fraud in Obamacare subsidies. We're literally in one payout, guys. $94 million was paid to insurers for deceased people. Like, you can't make this stuff up. People are going to the doctor, sending in hospital bills, but these people aren't even alive, yet they're still paying it. The fraud is rampant and it is insane. And that's why I asked the question in the poll, because today is huge. Obamacare subsidies granted without documentation to 90% of fake accounts set up by governments. Guys, can you believe this? 90% of the fake accounts that have been set up have been paid through Obamacare subsidies. They were granted no documentation whatsoever. Medicare, Medicaid, guys, you cannot make this stuff up. This is so big, and I'm so glad our boy Dan Bongino is in the front runner, the mix, making it happen, making the arrest, investigations, him and Kash Patel. That's what we voted for, everybody. Gets even better, because guess what? Report has shown that Senator Mark Kelly leaked the classified portions of the Pentagon's Signalgate findings while his party publicly attacked Hegseth. The Democrats were attacking Hegseth. Mark Kelly has been found out to have been the one who leaked the classified portions. I told you that there was enemies within, that there would be Democrats or people on the inside that would be trying to leak information to make the Republicans or Pete Hegseth look bad. And the report has just came out, baby. This is reporting, guys. This hasn't even hit mainstream. You heard it here first on TrueLife News, guys. I'm excited. Not only that, Elon Musk has publicly come out in support of J.D. Vance for president for 2 terms after Trump. He said he will be campaigning with him, making sure he has enough funds to win, baby. Let's go. And not only that, guys, more data has come out that, again, when Biden allowed the invasion, growth trend in remittances from people within the United States sending money out of the United States. In 2022, illegal migrants and legal migrants sent $79 billion in 2022. Get ready for this number. In just 2 years, that $79 billion grew to over $200 billion being sent out from the United States to other countries from illegal and legal immigrants. I'm telling you guys, the reporting is coming out. We're dropping the receipts today. This is big, big stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Big show, big breaking news for you today. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers and viewers. Thank you all so much for your support. We are so thankful that we are here to serve you. If you're not a part of the family yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family so we can take care of you with the breaking news. I want to thank everybody that partners with us in our giving on the 22nd of every single month. We give to a local charity, and this month's going to be huge, everybody. We're giving to a local children's home for Christmas, helping these kids out, guys. I'm so excited. Give some special love to our brother, Michael Hendricks. Show Michael some love in the chat. Our boy Richard and Terry. Show Terry some love in the chat, as well as our boy Jim Barbato, OG of the channel. Show him some love. Milton Burns, Hapa Te Uraha. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Welcome to the family. Guys, today's a big day. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Oh my goodness, the arrest, the January 6th pipe bomber arrested, Elon Omar, the Somalis, all this stuff, Tim Walz. This is huge. This is what we voted for. Don't forget that the door's about to close, guys. Medicare open enrollment is almost done. Do not miss your chance to get your blessing. We've had too many people get thousands of dollars in their health care removed, saving thousands of dollars a year. Some people have gotten over $1,000 in additional benefits just by calling Chapter. It is a free service to you. The number is 667-895-3015. The number's in the description as well as the bottom of the screen. Guys, this is big. I literally had somebody who messaged us and said they almost saved over almost $3,000 a year in healthcare costs. So don't miss your blessing. We only got a couple more days. The door's going to be closed. Make sure you call them up. Tell them that Joel sent you from TrueLife News, 667-895-3015. I promise you, you'll be blessed. Let's get right into this, guys, because today's news is huge.
Democrats told us they hate dictators, except for this one, apparently. And now they're pushing for a military coup.
Right here, y'all.
Of Donald Trump.
I think in many ways, the uniformed military may help save us from this president and his lame people like Hegseth.
Disobey orders and save us from the dictator. And if you don't, we'll prosecute you when Newsom's president. That's their message. The way these guys are acting, they sound like they're on coke. Trump designated the cartels terrorists. That changes the rules of engagement.
Let's go.
We're actually fighting the war on drugs, like a war. But the media would rather play cops and robbers.
Why isn't it possible to just interdict them the way that we do with the Coast Guard, where you go and take the drugs and then put those people on trial and investigate and then follow the drugs to their source of origin and then take care of it there? Like, none of this makes any sense.
Yeah,
No, it makes perfect sense. We can't interdict them there because the Coast Guard's been doing this for 4 decades and it hasn't worked.
Boom.
They want us to keep doing what doesn't work. Why? Because they don't want Trump to be successful?
Let me tell you this, everybody. This right here, this keep doing what they've been doing. This is when we have found new evidence linking Representative Elon Omar's political network to the Somali $1 billion welfare fraud. The same person that says that we should let all these immigrants in, open borders, basically saying that the greatest threat to people is the white man. She's literally said that, and guys, let me tell you this. It's crazy how all these, the women on the left say that white man is the biggest threat, and then they end up marrying a white guy. But this right here shows you guys, when you mess around, the investigations are happening, $1 billion welfare fraud. We're catching you. We're exposing you. And not only that, this right here is the biggest bombshell ever that Senator Mark Kelly, the people on the left that are trying to always backtrack and stop President Trump, is in legal hot water because he was the one that leaked the classified details from the IG Signalgate. Remember Signalgate? Oh, Pete Hegseth isn't qualified. He doesn't know what he's doing. Guess what? It was Mark Kelly, the Democrat, who literally said and told members, don't do what President Trump says. Now we've caught them, guys. This is the biggest breaking news today. I love it. We haven't even gotten to the January 6th pipe bomber, but this is amazing because this is what we voted for. These investigations are finally turning up so much evidence that Trump is right, MAGA is right. The Democrats have been trying to destroy what we've been trying to work towards, which is making America great again. If you love this, hit the thumbs up like button, guys, because we are dropping the receipts today.
Or maybe they love drugs. I don't know. She then says we should follow the drugs to the source of origin and take care of it there. Is she saying we should bomb Colombia?
Ooh.
Is she saying we should bomb Venezuela? Because that's the source. Finally, something Trump and Maddow can agree on.
Very soon we're going to start doing it on land, too, because we know every route, we know every house, we know where they manufacture this crap, we know where they put it all together.
You know who else agrees? The big guy.
Let's go after the drug lords where they live with an international strike force. There must be no safe haven for these narco-terrorists, and they must know it.
They're not just narco-terrorists. They're shacking up with another breed of terror.
The Venezuelan regime is a source of instability in the entire region. Over 8 million Venezuelans have flooded into neighboring countries as a result of the regime's activities within their own country, including into the United States. They also happen to be the foothold of Iran. That's not spoken about enough. Iran, its IRGC, and even Hezbollah has a presence in South America, and one of their anchor presence, especially for the Iranians, is inside of Venezuela.
Let me get this straight.
Guys, it is such big news. I'm sorry, but like, this is such big news. Look at this right here. George Soros changed criminal justice in America. Washington Post is now reporting that this guy and the money, the liberal funder who spent tens of millions of dollars swinging dozens of district attorneys to leftist propaganda ideologies is now drawing backlash. Why? Because again, too, we're finding you out. We're exposing you right now. Every single time that somebody from the outside has been trying to pour money in to cause chaos in the United States, well, guess what? We're exposing you. Guys, this is the Washington Post. How insane is this? Jim Barbato, let's go with the super chat. I love it. Show Jim, OG of the channel, some love in the chat, as well as Nelson Feliciano. Thank you so much, Nelson. Said, God bless our children and our president and our country. Amen. Show Nelson some love, as well as Melinda Johnson. Said, keep bringing the receipts, Joel. The corruption has to stop. Amen. Mr. K1 USA said, God bless you, Joel, and your family. Thank you so much, Veronica Miskey, Milton Burns. Guys, show them some love in the chat. This is big, big stuff. And the reason it's so big, because as we continue to dig deeper into this, all we're doing is cleanup right now, y'all. This is all just cleanup. We're trying to reverse back so much of the Biden policies. Listen to this.
Say that if you're focused on America and America first, you start with your own hemisphere where we live.
Right
what
there.
happens here, I'm not saying things that are happening halfway around the world are not important. I'm saying what happens in our hemisphere impacts us faster and more deeply than something that's happening halfway around the world.
Move over, Maryland dad. Democrats have a new crush. He doesn't wear a bull's hat. He's a cocaine cowboy of the Caribbean. But don't you dare call him the N-word.
There is no such thing as a narco-terrorist. There are very, very bad narcotics people, cartels, etc., but they're desperate to make this look like it's ISIS or Al-Qaeda because that's the very thin line on which their illegal use of the United States military to take these people out resides.
Remember,
guys, I'm telling you, only President Trump could figure out a way to make it so that the dang Democrats are literally supporting, trying to protect these drug dealers. Guys, you can't make this up. He's a genius. In 2024, look at this screen right here. In 2024, illegals don't use benefits. 2025, how dare Trump take their benefits? All it is a narrative shift. All it is right now, you have 21 states that are suing the Trump administration for taking away non-citizens' taxpayer benefits. Tell me where this makes sense, guys. I love it. This is what we voted for, and we're only getting started, guys, because again, too, what's big today? The pipe bomber January 6th pipe bomber has been caught. Our boy, oh my goodness, I love this. We get the actual details, guys. This is huge. Listen to this, because I'm telling you, we're only getting started.
John, you got a huge scoop last night on Just the News, but I've got to ask you about the pipe bomb. Kash Patel's team tells me at 1 o'clock today, they're going to have a press conference, get everybody up to speed. Real America's Voice will obviously cover that live during the Charlie Kirk show. John Solomon, what do you know?
Well, as I mentioned, I think it was just before Thanksgiving on your show, I thought there would be an arrest this week. They were zeroing in on a gentleman whom they arrested this morning in Northern Virginia. And the way this case was cracked was about a month or 6 weeks ago. Bongino, who was the lead on it, and Patel decided to take the old agents off the case and put a new team on it.
Yeah.
There was a little resistance, as there always is in the FBI, to any form of change. But the new team came in. They applied some new ideas, some new technologies, and some of the evidence that was sitting right in front of them with fresh eyes was followed, and it was able to be led to this gentleman who they arrested a little bit ago. We don't know much about his ideology or his intentions or his motives yet. And one of the things that FBI officials stressed with me this morning is that this is really the beginning. The arrest is the beginning of trying to understand how this operation was conducted, who's behind it, whether there are more conspirators or whether this is a lone wolf. Still all of that to be determined, but a really extraordinary effort. Almost 5 years later, with a fresh set of eyes and a different approach, the FBI that couldn't solve the case for 4.5 years solves it. Very much like the way the Charlie Kirk investigation occurred in the first few hours. There were a lot of FBI agents in old guard that didn't want to put the suspect's photo out, but Kash Patel and Bongino insisted that was going to be key to getting the father to flip, and they put the photo out, the father flips, and of course you get that arrest as we see. What you're seeing is a different mentality in the FBI, and that plays out in two different ways. First, you see successes that we haven't seen in a while, lots of arrests, cases solved that had not been solved for a long time, other cases which could have gone on for months being solved in 33 hours like Charlie Kirk's assassin. The second part is it results in a lot of whining from FBI people who think they know what's better. And you see that even in the Miranda Devine story earlier this week. You've got these grousers and grouchers because the truth of the matter is Donald Trump ordered Patel and Bongino to break glass at the FBI. They broke glass. And now the FBI is doing things differently. They're succeeding, but there are people who want to focus on the whining and crying, not actually the success of what the FBI has been doing. The way they solved this case was fresh thinking.
Guys, let me tell you this. You want to know how much fresh thinking matters? Look at this right here. You cannot make this up. Reported by the New York Post, Obamacare subsidies granted without documentation to 90% of fake accounts set up by a government watchdog. Who is this government watchdog? It's called Doge. Maybe you've heard of it. Elon Musk. They've got a great team. Guess what? This just shows you how corrupt our system is. 90% of the fake accounts that they set up were granted Obamacare subsidies without any documentation whatsoever. You want to talk about the fraud, the waste, and the abuse? It's right in front of your eyes, everybody. This is the stuff that we are trying to show to everybody because a lot of people don't see this stuff. A lot of people don't know what's happening. This is why you can't get a bigger Social Security check or why Medicare or Medicaid may be coming up insolvent or whatever. It's because of this. And this is where we're rooting it out. The Democrats don't want us to. You know why? Because we keep finding things like this. New evidence links Representative Ilhan Omar's political network to a Somali $1 billion welfare fraud. Tell me, guys, like again, this is just the receipts. This is what's happening. There's no opinion in this. This is what is. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, this is the breaking news just came out this morning. We are making sure to deliver you the truth. I don't care red or blue. I care about America first. Melinda Johnson, thank you so much for the 5 gifted TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership from Melinda, show her some love in the chat, everybody. As well as our boy Jim Barbado. Let's go. Skyrex Core said every Dem that broke 8 USC 1324 needs to be charged already. Thank you so much, Mike Hackstrom. Guys, show him some love in the chat. If you got a free membership, show him some love in the chat. This is insane, everybody. And now that the January 6th pipe bomber has been caught, suspect, we're about to go into the next phase. Already, Tim Walz, Minnesota is being investigated by Bongino, who's leading the charge, guys. This dude ain't playing around, going after all this fraud, waste, and abuse.
Here's what kind of strange credulity. In 5.5 years, and Dan comes in with cash, but Dan puts on it, finally gets tired of it, puts on a new team. Yep. And I understand it's a fresh set of eyes, a different perspective, but it doesn't strain credulity to think that the original FBI team was really, and this is the problem with all of J6, I mean, were they
yeah.
part of the problem? Because, I mean, to say that Bongino and these guys came in and in 6 weeks cracked the case is fantastic.
Boom.
But you sit there and go, particularly you see a lot of these former whistleblowers of people trashing cash every day.
Yeah.
Is the building just still adamantly opposed to cash, Bongino, and President Trump?
Oh, fewer and fewer people are opposed. There are even people that were opposed at the beginning, like this guy's just a talking head. He's not an FBI agent. And then you start solving cases, and people are like, oh, damn, hey, this is working. We're getting bad guys off the street. So there are 2 or 3 dynamics going on in the Bureau. The first is there are people that are still the deep state, and as Kash Patel and Dan Bongino find them, they throw them out, or they twist them in a way that they're required to show us what the deep state did the last 6 or 8 years that we didn't know about. Early on, there was some question, why was Kash Patel keeping certain people behind? Because those people wanted to keep their pension, and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino wanted to know what really went on, and they squeezed those people to find out what the dirty secrets were that existed from the Ray and Comey era, and that's how they found the burn bags, and they found all that stuff. So you have resistance. That resistance is growing less. The resistors now move to the outside. This report that, I think Miranda writes in the New York Post, it's an anonymous whistleblower report. It's kind of weird to have a study that doesn't have any names to it. But a lot of those people are gone, and they're grousing from the outside. Inside the building, the people that remain, there are new people coming in that are showing a new wave. Success is breeding trust. And all of a sudden, you got an FBI that's doing these. And there's a lot of unique things going on inside the FBI. It's remarkable to think that we've watched the Ukraine and Russia war take place, and all of these small drones creating incredible lethality, and have an FBI in America that until just a few months ago didn't have a counter drone program. Just think about that. Now there's a counter drone program. That's a major change. Agents who realized what a big change it was, they like it. Those who didn't like it don't work there anymore. Similarly, they're using artificial intelligence to sift through evidence and to reanalyze evidence in a different way. Hey, we got...
Guys, this is why, again, this has happened today. The FBI has arrested the 2021 D.C. pipe bomber suspect. He's 5'7" man from Virginia. Name will be announced later today. This is beautiful, guys. This is accountability. This is doing your dang job. Not only that, again, the reason why so much fraud, waste, and abuse is because they didn't have oversight. Now that we're putting oversight, over a dozen states are being sued by Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon for suspiciously hiding their voter rolls. What does Trump have to say about it? Great. Our elections are crooked and rigged. The voters know it. Must bring back integrity back to voting. Start with voter ID. This is just the beginning, guys. We are literally stepping in to the adolescence of corruption that has literally been living within our country for the past probably 50 years. Look at this right here. Food stamps. This is from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Look how it's grown from 2000, 17.1 billion. Guess what? You want to know what the population of the United States in 2020 was? I'm sorry, not 2020. In 2000 was, because remember, it's all about alignment. You got more people, you should have more, you should pay more, right? So the population of the United States in the early 2000s, oh my goodness, population of the United States in 2000, it was 281 million people, okay? 281. What is it now in 2025? What is it now? 281 that we know of. Social Security numbers, people. Oh my goodness. Guys, sometimes you just got to be better with the AI. They're just, I don't know. Hey, Elon, you need to go fix Grok. It's not doing like it should be. All right, there's 342. So from 2000, you had 281 million. Now we have 342 million. How did it 5 to 6x when our population didn't 5 to 6x on the cost? Okay? We're creating a dependent society, a lazy society. You got a ton of illegals that we've showed you the chart. 59% of them are on some form of welfare. So whenever you bring a lot of people that just want entitlements and taxpayer benefits and whatnot, well, guess what? this is what you get. Our population grew by 60 million people. But yet, our population grew by 30%. This cost on just SNAP has grown essentially 5x. So again, this is 500% that the cost has grown. 500% versus our population only grew 30%. So I'm telling you guys, we're getting into the nitty gritty of this. Numbers matter. This matters.
Phone records, we've got credit card records. Are there some connections that our eyes didn't see? And I have a funny feeling when we're done that this new team that was put on there will likely have used some technology and some new capabilities to reanalyze the evidence in a way humans couldn't, and maybe find that nugget or two that led them on the path to this bomber. But I think that's what's going on. Listen, there's a deep state everywhere still in America. There's a deep state, as Liz Truss reminds us, all across Europe. They're alive and well. If they're not inside the Bureau, they're causing harm outside the Bureau as angry anonymous sources and news media. But the truth of the matter is when you look at the Bureau's capability, I've covered the FBI for 35 years. I've covered this building inside out. I broke out a lot of the big whistleblower stories of the last half century, from Oklahoma City and the FBI lab to 9/11, where I won all those awards, to this is a different Bureau. It's functioning differently.
Yes.
And it seems to have gotten back on mission a little bit more. There's still partisans. There are still incompetents. There's still resistors and deep staters. But the ship is starting to turn. And over time, more and more of the resistors are going to get thrown overboard by the wake of what's going on.
This is what
John,
it's all about,
I want to hold
y'all.
you through the break, and I got Mike Davis, Julie Kelly coming up also. You had a big, give us a minute on this scoop, at least the headline. You had a big scoop last night on dark money and some of the biggest senators supported by the biggest Trump haters.
Ooh.
That's right. So Reid Hoffman, founder of LinkedIn, one of the biggest funders of Democratic elections in the last 10 years. There was a debate that came up last time. Pam Bondi was on the Hill saying he's not a dark money guy. He's not helping the senators. The Justice Department did an investigation at the direction of the president and reported to the Senate last night that Reid Hoffman was routing dark money to different groups, and that some of the senators on the Senate Judiciary Committee, people like Dick Durbin, were the beneficiaries of that money, a major black eye to the Democrats who often say they're against dark money until you find out they're beneficiaries.
They're beneficiaries of it, guys. I'm telling you. This is the biggest, oh my goodness, guys. Again, this is what he's talking about. New evidence links Representative Ilhan Omar political network to the Somalis' $1 billion welfare fraud. I wanted to show you the stats, guys. I told you. In 2000, the population was 281 million. In 2020, it was 331 million. 2025, 342 million. How in the world do you go from 17 billion in food stamps to 103 billion in food stamps? The math doesn't line up with the amount of people. What this tells me is that we've got more people that are living off the government, more illegals, more non-citizens that are getting taxpayer benefits, because again, the charts don't lie, guys. The charts don't lie. This is the actual facts of what's out there. And again, you can go fact check me. You can pull this stuff up. I'm showing you from the actual government itself. Look at this. When we show you that 59%, the big blue bar, is illegal migrants receiving any type of welfare, this is why we're becoming insolvent, because we have an increase of people that are fully and solely dependent on the federal government. Can't be sustainable. Can't last, guys. And right now, we are digging in deep into every single corruption possible. I've got to show you our girl Anna Paulina Luna is killing it right now. If you appreciate this, hit the thumbs up like button. Thank you so much, Jim Barbato, for the super chat. Let's go. Listen to this, guys, because I'm telling you, we're going after the deep state.
Okay, I brought numbers because numbers do not lie. So when you hear members of both parties saying that they have solutions for affordability, the housing crisis, pharmaceuticals, all of this, and yet you look at their personal investments, you'll know that it's literally just political gamesmanship. And unless we actually prevent insider trading, which is happening every single day in Congress, if people are telling you otherwise, they are lying to you, and really look into the regulations on individual stock trading, I would say even make it similar to the executive branch, we are literally going to never be able to fix anything because you have people on both sides sides that are controlled op for the three big ones, BlackRock, Vanguard, and Big Pharma. Let's look at these numbers real quick. Okay, so in the House, you have 25% of members, and in the Senate, 30% of members that own personally, totaling about $100 million in stocks in Big Pharma. Then you have BlackRock and Vanguard. In BlackRock, that big spooky organization that, in my opinion, is contributing to the housing crisis in this country because they're buying up all those single-family homes. Yeah, you have about 13 members reporting holdings, but that's a significant number, especially when you have only 535 members. Sorry, the video got cut off there in both the House and the Senate. So roughly, all that to say, roughly 1 in 3 members of Congress have exposure to either pharmaceutical, Big Pharma, BlackRock, and Vanguard. So do you really think that they're going to be able to fix and bring forward great solutions when they are personally benefiting and impacted off of the legislation that's coming off the House floor? And the answer is no. So look, I'm all for solutions. I will work with anyone to come forward with a solution. But to do nothing is not the angle. And so I know the speaker actually just went to the press and said that, he's wanting to stop the insider trading. That's great. I think America wants us to stop insider trading. And so I'm happy to work with him. But the point is to do nothing is to do a great disservice to the American people. And I'm not going to be quiet and I'm not going to let this go because this is a serious issue. If we really want to talk about the crux of the problems in this country, look no further than the insider trading. It is really bad. It needs to stop. Frankly, the American people should be letting their voices heard on this.
I'm telling you guys, deep state, they are being found out like never before. And again, everything's coming out, y'all. Today is such a big day of arresting the January 6th pipe bomber. I want to show you this because, again, it's all Trump's DOJ. It's Trump's cabinet team that has announced, again, across since Trump has been president, largest Medicaid fraud, Medicare fraud in U.S. history has been found. $15 billion fraudulent. This is why, again, we partnered with Chapter. This is a phenomenal company that it's open enrollment time right now for those on Medicare. But guys, the door's about to close. We only got a couple more days and it's done. Don't miss your chance to be blessed. We've had people on this channel save $2,800 a year in health insurance, $2,300 a year in health insurance, $1,400 a year in health insurance. This company saves you thousands of dollars in health insurance, no cost to you. It is free. They compare all 5,600 plans to make sure you're taken care of. The number is 667-895-3015. The number's in the description as well as the bottom of the screen. Don't pay more than you're supposed to. I promise you. You call them up, you'll be blessed because this right here is not okay. All this fraud is not okay. You don't need to spend more money than you have to. That's why I say call them up. Tell them that Joel sent you from TrueLife News. Because there's too many people that have had too much blessings and testimonials. I want everybody to be good. I want everybody to keep as much as your hard-earned money as possible so that way you can take care of you and your family. Because what you're about to hear next, guys, there's too much out there, and the amount of fraud that we're trying to catch and what we're trying to do to make healthcare better, we need to work together and support each other. Show our boy Chad some love in the chat, everybody, as well as Jim Barbato. Let's go. Robert Cash, thank you so much, brother. Show him some love in the chat, everybody. Listen to this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for calling this hearing. Thanks to all of the witnesses for being here. I just want to start with numbers that I think are absolutely unbelievable. The cost of health insurance, the increase in health insurance expenditures or health expenditures since 1960 is up. I think we've got a chart maybe over my shoulder here. Since 1960, there has been a 2,109% increase in the cost of health in the United States, healthcare spending. 2,109% increase. Yeah. Today, Americans spend more on healthcare than on groceries or housing. I mean, this is extraordinary.
That's insane.
More than on groceries or housing. 41% of adults in the United States have debt from medical expenses. And I noticed a recent Gallup report found that 31 million Americans borrowed money last year to pay for health care. 31 million Americans. I want to just add to some of the testimony that's been offered here today by reading you something from a constituent of my state. This is a mother in my state of Missouri. She wrote to me recently and said the health insurance coverage for myself and my 2 daughters are showing to be $1,500 a month, enough to actually make a mortgage payment. I'm a small business owner and wondering how I'm going to be able to afford this. She goes on to say in that same letter, I thought about just getting insurance for my daughters, but I also remembered the time where I couldn't afford insurance one year, and the doctor and hospital bills were twice as much for cash payers. because they bill you the maximum amount possible. I mean, I think we should just be honest about what we're facing here. This is a crisis. This is a crisis. And I realize that in Washington, it's treated sometimes as a numbers game. It's treated as a white paper to be discussed. But for people at home, they cannot afford to go and see a doctor. I'm the father of 3 small children. I can't imagine what it would be like to say, you know, I can't afford it. I can't take my kid to the hospital. I mean, you know, we're fairly frequent visitors to the hospital in my family. I've got 2 boys. We're there a fair amount for their various injuries. And thinking about parents in my state or anywhere else saying, you know what, I think my kid's got a broken bone, but I can't go to the hospital. I can't afford it. I can't go to the doctor. I can't afford it. And millions of Americans are saying that.
Yep. Again, guys, we bring you receipts. The reason why is because of this right here. The company working with Doge to catch all the fraud, the waste, and the abuse. Obamacare subsidies granted without documentation to 90% of fake accounts set up by a government watchdog. We all know who they are. Isn't this insane? Why do you think healthcare is so expensive? Because we hand it out like it's candy. We hand this money out, these subsidies out like it's candy with no documentation. 90% of these fake accounts were given money. And this was because we have the Trump administration that is trying to find this fraud, trying to make sure that we're not wasting money. And look, this is being reported by the New York Post, everybody. Not only that, with all the billions of dollars in fraud and scheme, you got ICE has reportedly been directed to go door to door to arrest Somalian illegal migrants involved in a $1 billion fraud scheme. Because we're done with it. We're tired of it. It's too much dang fraud. We have people that are hurting every single day because the leadership of the Democratic Party and some of the Republicans chose not to do their dang job to put Americans first. And guess what? Trump, Homan, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, they're doing their dang job putting Americans first. This is the big difference of when you have action by an administration to put America first.
Subsidies, on the premium tax subsidies. Let's just be honest. If we don't do something on this issue, if Congress does not take action on this issue in the next few weeks, this will be a crisis for 24 million Americans and counting. In my state, premiums are already going up by between 24 and 50%, depending on the healthcare plan, depending on the region of the state. I mean, so we are looking at a massive crisis unless Congress acts and acts soon. And my message is to the leadership of this body, to the leaders of the House, the leaders of the Senate, maybe it's time you all locked yourselves in a room and got to a solution here, because it's not going to be a solution in a couple of weeks to say, well, we just couldn't get it done. We couldn't think of anything, better luck next year. If that's the attitude that ends up being taken in this body, millions of Americans are going to go without health care coverage. And let's be honest, millions of Americans can't afford it now before we hit the cliff. So I think it's time to get serious here about the crisis that we are facing. We have got to take action on the subsidies. As I've said for months now, listen, I'm open to proposals. I'm open to any proposal that will keep the costs down, but we've got to take action. Doing nothing is not a solution. But I have another suggestion to make, and it's a bill that a proposal I'd like to introduce. I am introducing today. In addition to taking action on subsidies, why shouldn't we make healthcare tax-free in this country? Why shouldn't we just exempt all health care from taxes? We did no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime earlier this year. How about no taxes on health care? If you pay premiums, you ought to be able to deduct that from your taxes. If you have out-of-pocket medical expenses, you ought to be able to deduct every dollar off of your taxes. You want to lower the cost of health care immediately? Do that. No taxes on health care for any American. And you set an upper limit so you don't have rich people gaming the system. I get it, that's fine. But let's think about working people in this country who cannot afford health care. What if we said to them today, we're not going to tax your health care costs?
Guys, this is so awesome because, again, too, this is stuff that's coming from the pit bulls in Congress for what Trump is trying to do. All this billions of dollars that we have found with one state out of all 50 states, and it's billions and billions of dollars. That's why this has to happen. Elon Musk came out and predicts 2 Vance terms to succeed Trump. And Elon Musk is right behind J.D. Vance to make sure that he wins in the next 2028 election. Because we have to be able to continue rooting out the deep state. Now we've got, again, what are they saying across the board? The investigations are starting into Walsh, Tim Walsh, former VP candidate with Kamala Harris and the Attorney General over Minnesota for this rampant fraud, waste, and abuse. Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, show our boy Robert Cash some love in the chat. Said love conquers all. Let's be the light. Amen. Show Jim Barbato some love in the chat. Thank you so much, brother. Check this out.
Report.
Staggering amount. Tom Emmer, of course, is from Minnesota, and he tells us that it may be as much as $2 billion.
$2 billion.
And Tim Walsh has a lot to answer for. And Congress has a lot of interest in this, and we're going to track it down, and I think the authorities will as well.
The Signal Gate IG report. Do you have any concerns about that? Yes.
The speaker's doing good.
Standing with the conference right now, Mr. Bonnet's comments, and just the mood in your conference.
No, I'm not worried about my standing at all. We are moving forward with this agenda. You can talk to individual members. Look, we have a large body. There's 220 or so people in this conference, and lots of different opinions. Everybody's not delighted with every decision every day, but that's Congress. That's the way the system works.
You'll run for speaker again at the end of this Congress, or leader?
Yes, we're going to continue this agenda. We have had one of the most successful, productive Congresses in the history of this institution. We'll put it up against any in history. And we did that because we were able to keep everybody together, even with the smallest margins in history. And we'll continue to do that. And not everybody's going to be 100% satisfied with every decision and everything that happens, but that's how this process works.
What about this IG report?
Do you think it was the right idea to win the majority next year? Does the Quayer pardon?
Well, what'd you say?
Does the Quayer pardon make it harder for you to win the
No,
majority?
that has no effect on us at all. That's a very competitive district, and we'll have a strong candidate in that district, and we'll win it because we have a great record to run on, and we're recruiting all-stars to flip some of these blue seats to red. We're really excited about that.
What do you
make about the fraud in Minnesota? It's a staggering amount. Tom Emmer, of course, is from Minnesota, and he tells us that it may be as much as $2 billion in fraud in Minnesota, and Tim Walsh has a lot to answer for. And Congress has a lot of interest in this, and we're going to track it down, and I think the authorities will as well.
The Signal Gate IG report. Do you have any concerns about that?
Guys, let me tell you this. I love what's coming from some of these really MAGA people. Look at this. Tim Burchett has formally sent a letter, Tim Burchett, to Trump saying that we have to cut off all NGOs till they are re-verified. Why? Because of the rampant fraud that just happened in Minnesota. Like, this is what I love is once you find the smoking gun, you can then start more investigations across the board because it matters. Now we have evidence, and it's not 1 million. It's not 2 million. We're talking about billions. 1, 2, 3 billions out of one state, everybody. And again, all the while we are investigating, all the while we are 100% focused on exposing the deep state. You got Trump over here who's saying, we're going to continue the tariffs because we want to make it so people don't have to pay federal income taxes anymore. Guys, what a winning strategy. This is what we got to get to for affordability, but to ultimately win the 2026 midterms.
President Trump isn't just talking about tax relief. He's talking about rewriting the whole tax code.
Next year is projected to be the largest tax refund season ever, and we're going to be giving back refunds out of the tariffs because we've taken in literally trillions of dollars, and we're going to be giving a nice dividend to the people. The money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous, that you're not going to have income tax to pay. Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low, much lower than it is now, but you won't be paying income tax.
Wow.
Welcome to the Big Money Show. I'm Dagan McDowell,
Guys,
along with
so much.
Feels like a pipe dream. The president insists that his tariff windfall is big enough to fund the government, cut the deficit, and still put money back in the pockets of voters. Critics will argue, it's not just critics, we don't need to put it in the frame of critics. I'll argue that the math doesn't add up. This is a classic President Trump, be big, be bold, force Washington to defend a status quo that most Americans cannot stand. And with inflation expected to ease in 2026, we could be entering phase 2 of an affordability push. So while Americans dread tax season, it may soon become the most wonderful time of the year. Brian Bremberg, to you first on this. I'm holding a big announcement in my mouth.
You're not pregnant.
There is something to be said. No. There is something to be said, though. Why half of the country doesn't pay any income taxes.
That is true.
Why have this vast monstrosity of forcing them to fill out paperwork and file, and then you get a refund, and there's something that he is piecing together here, and it's not quite coming out, but
Well,
I sense something.
I sense things too. Look, I want to just stop and celebrate the fact that in the White House you have a president saying, let's get rid of the income tax, because you would not have had that under the previous president. They wanted to double down. Actually, they wanted to make it worse by doing wealth taxes. So I like the idea of no income tax. I like better, and you've mentioned this before, because tariffs are sort of this, I like a consumption tax better than an income tax, because I'd rather tax consumption than work and investment. So the president...
Let me tell you this, everybody. This is just one of the big things of the overhauls that are happening. We got this breaking news again of what's happening with Trump's administration and revitalizing so much of our broken federal programs. Senator Joni Ernst is pushing legislation to ban SNAP from being used at fast food restaurants. Whether it's Popeyes, McDonald's, Taco Bell, this is just, again, one more thing of cleanup. If you're on food stamps, like, guys, I'm telling you what, we grew up and we didn't have that much money, but dang it, going to McDonald's was like having a steak dinner, and we did that maybe once a week. $1 double cheeseburger back when it was $1, or a medium fry for $1, large sweet tea for $1. I mean, that was the thing. But now, using SNAP and all this for this, it's crazy. But this is, again, what I love is that I keep bringing the receipts of showing you we have congressional leaders that are pushing to revitalize our programs to make sure that we aren't wasting any money. Alice Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Says, special thanks to Jim Barbato. I can't keep up to his giving gifts. LOL. We love it. Show Alice some love in the chat. As well as Deb Longo said, turn the healthcare system over to the private sector. They will bid for our business. Competition results equal lower monthly cost and greater healthcare services. Amen. Show Deb Longo and Alice some love in the chat, as well as Jim Barbato and our boy Chris Prez with the gifted 10 TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership from Chris, show him some love in the chat, everybody. Such a blessing. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. We are literally making America great again like nobody's business. We're exposing the fraud today. Arrest, investigations across the board. This is what we voted for.
The president is putting out, I think, a great idea in principle. I don't think it's going to happen. I agree it's not going to happen. It's not realistic. I don't think, and again, this is sort of my non-lawyer analysis of what's going to happen with the Supreme Court. I don't think a lot of his IEPA tariffs are going to stand. I don't think that's a big problem for him because he's got other ways to do it. But I do like the one thing he's doing here that I think is super important, because they haven't done enough this year, is they're saying, wait until you start to get your refunds from the big, beautiful law, the big, beautiful bill, because it is going to be big. You're going to feel it. Yes. And it's going to change your whole tax picture for the coming year, which is why you got...
Guys, if you love this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, this right here, just again, remember, it's all about the Democrats told us inflation wasn't happening, prices are low, you don't know what you're talking about, and Americans felt that it's not, and they knew the truth. Trump is trying to make sure that not only are we telling you the truth, you're feeling the truth.
Guys like Kevin Hassett and Scott Bessent saying 2026 is going to be a bonanza. So, from the president's lips to God's ears, no income tax. I don't know if the Lord's going to answer that prayer just now, but it's a great idea.
Can I do the math? here for everybody?
Yes.
Okay, so federal receipts.
I'll hold up this handy chart.
For the Department of Treasury.
Oh, I can see that perfectly.
It's a little small for me. But the federal receipts overall were almost $5 trillion in fiscal year 2024. Of that, the individual aspect of it was $2.43 trillion. So if we're talking about tariff revenue right now of roughly $300 billion for the year, no, the math doesn't add up. But Brian, I agree with you. The sentiment is there that the president wants to do as much as he can for working Americans. And what I love about this, and we talk about it, is that it is work incentivizing.
Yes.
Go to work, you can make money, you can keep more of it. And that is what people want to hear. You know, we talk about handouts, we talk about entitlements. Even Joe Biden said, you know, job is your dignity. And that is important to people. I don't think most people really want to sit on the couch and take these entitlements, but they're a little bit lost and they're a little bit stuck. So what the president wants to do is incentivize them not only to work, but create a growth engine in the economy where the opportunity to work is there. And that is what's happening here. Now, if they're right, the administration, and in 2026, you have a gangbuster year because people are getting their refunds from no tax on tips and the new policies that were implemented in the big, beautiful law, then that's going to contribute to the growth engine as well. Remember, I said this is a wheel. It's got a lot of different spokes, this economic policy overall. As these spokes come together and that wheel starts to move, I think you're going to really see something amazing. And the haters are going to have to turn around and admit that they were wrong on this.
3 quick points.
This is what I'm telling you, everybody. Like, you cannot, the arrest, the investigations, the stuff into making America great again, all this flows together, okay? Right here, we're showing you Tim Walz and Minnesota AG Keith Ellison are now being investigated by Congress for allowing fraud to happen in mass, okay? This is huge. This is next level. Now they're investigating a governor and their attorney general over this corruption. Not only that, Indiana moves to impeach rogue judges and prosecutors. This is the first of its kind filed as a constitutional amendment across the United States to go after the judges and prosecutors who go soft on violent repeat offenders. Guys, we're changing America before our eyes right now. This stuff is 100% aligned with what people, when they see an innocent American killed and they see a guy who's committed 40, 50 violent crimes, has been arrested 40, 50 times and still let out on the street, people are fed up with it. And only Trump could do this right here, what you're seeing on the screen, where this was posted by the White House. Liberals side with bloodthirsty narco-terrorists in the crusade to get Trump. He's blowing up these drug boats. Now the Democrats and liberals are saying, we need to protect them. We can't just blow them up. We need to go and arrest them and put them through this. It's like, no, when you're coming in the middle of the night, you're coming and they use all the intelligence, AI, all this surveillance, and you're funneling drugs. Guess what? No more, because those drugs kill Americans. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. This is an insane what's happening in our political landscape, but it is what's making America great again. Jim Barbato, let's go, brother, with the super chat. I love it. Show Jim some love in the chat, everybody, as well as our boy Chris Prez. Don't forget to show Chris some love in the chat. Again, where the investigations are beginning. We've just arrested the pipe bomber, Gen 6 pipe bomber. Dan Bongino is on it, but listen next what's coming from Congress.
All right, Senator Ted Cruz joins us now tonight from the Capitol. Good to have you on, sir. 50% of Somali visas are fraudulent in Minnesota. That information just dropped yesterday at the cabinet meeting. It's a spectacular number. I guess my first question is, are these visas actually going to be revoked? Is something actually going to get done about this?
Well, look, I certainly hope so, and any visa that is fraudulent should be revoked. If you look at what has happened in Minnesota, there has been massive fraud to the tune of billions of dollars, bilking the Minnesota taxpayers. Much of that has gone to fraudulent individuals in the Somali community who've been sending that money back to Somalia, and just came out recently, the single largest funder of al-Shabaab, a radical Islamic terrorist group in Somalia, is the taxpayers of Minnesota through fraudulent money that was stolen from the taxpayers. And I got to say, the person in charge of it is Democrat Tim Walz. It is an absolute scandal, but it indicates exactly the kind of bankrupt policies that today's Democrat Party keeps pushing forward.
You know, I heard today from so many different local officials in Minneapolis and in the state of Minnesota that Somalians are the backbone of the community there.
Wow.
The vast majority of these people, according to the White House, are on some form of welfare. Nobody refuted that claim, by the way, today at all, which tells you it likely is very true. There's almost zero assimilation. This is not the immigration of yesterday in this country anymore. We're bringing in liabilities into the country that are costing us a fortune, and it's done for political reasons, I believe, and it's decimating our bottom line. It's decimating our culture, and when asked about it, we hear that they're the backbone of our community without being given any reason why they are.
Yeah, look, those are empty Democrat talking points. If you look at the elected representatives, you've got Ilhan Omar, who is viciously anti-American, a radical leftist. You look up in Dearborn, Michigan, where you've got Rashida Tlaib, same thing. You know, last year you had an entire mob in Dearborn, Michigan chanting "Death to America." And Rashida Tlaib refused to condemn that. Ilhan Omar has been at rallies where people are proclaiming their loyalty to Somalia and proclaiming it over the United States of America. And that is dangerous. And those are both examples of radicals who favor open borders, who favor releasing criminals from jail, who are rabidly anti-Semitic, who are Marxists and hate free enterprise and capitalism, and who hate your rights and my rights. And it is dangerous. And I'll tell you, Rob, the frightening thing is that is no longer the fringe of the Democrat Party. Today, those radicals are the heart of the Democrat Party. They're driving their agenda. You look in New York City at Comrade Mandami, a communist and an Islamist, and that right now is where all the energy is in the Democrat Party. And that is...
Again, guys, all this stuff that we're showing you and we're saying, there's receipts. It's literally happening right now. New evidence leaks Representative Ilhan Omar's political network to the Somali $1 billion welfare fraud. Okay? MuseX reports this is insane. How many times we push through and we show you when it comes to the 2020 Meals Act, where they said they were feeding 1,000 people a day, 1,000 kids a day, found out nothing. 3.9 million phantom meals under the program from his restaurant netted 12 million, but guess who got fed? Nobody. Only their pockets. Like, this is the type of stuff, again, too. The investigations that are happening by Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, are actually producing real results. When we go back to of where a lot of this comes from, guys, even the Washington Post now going after and saying how George Soros changed criminal justice in America. This right here changes everything. As we investigate more and more and more, we just find out how powerful the fraud is across the board, and all we're doing is we're just exposing it and then putting safeguards to protect. And who's fighting against us? The Democrats and some Republicans. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Thank you so much, Joanne Momoa. Welcome to the family. Show Joanne some love in the chat, everybody. As well as Grandma Jay. Thank you so much for upgrading your membership. Robert Cash. Thank you so much, brother. Jim Barbato, OG of the channel. Thank you so much, brother. And James Dalby, thank you so much for your support. Show James some love in the chat. Robert Cash, Grandma Jay, Joanne, Jim. Guys, this stuff on the screen that's happening, it's only... If Kamala Harris would have won, we would know nothing of the sort of what's going on. And again, it's all about just exposing what's already been there for God knows how long.
Joining us now to discuss Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville. Thank you, Senator, for joining. I want to remind everybody you're from Alabama, the great state of Minnesota, Great Lakes, beautiful companies. Where are the two senators from Minnesota? You showed up to defend this. Where are they?
well, they're AWOL, but they're part of the problem. At the end of the day, if you look at this situation, the Democratic presidential administration of Obama and Biden, they basically use Minneapolis and Minnesota as a garbage dump. They brought in people from third world countries, they dumped them, and they did it for a reason. 84,000 Somalians in the census of 2024 are in Minneapolis, and they elected, the Somalians elected Ilhan Omar, not Americans, Somalians. So we have huge problems. We've got to clean it up. We're not a third world country in America, and we're not going to allow this to happen. They were trying to do this in Alabama by dumping Haitians and the Biden administration in Alabama. We refused it. They moved them somewhere else.
Wow.
Senator, I want to bring something. I was reading a piece that Rich Lowry from the National Review wrote about this very thing, and it's titled, "Ungrateful Ilhan Omar and the Somali Scammers Are the Immigrants We Don't Want." Do you think that the media and other liberals are quiet on this because President Trump is right, and he has been right, because our immigration policy is about serving our national interest. That is the very root of it. It is not about serving the interests of individuals living in other countries or other countries. And there is something that the Biden administration tried to crack down on, the public charge issue of allowing immigrants into this country who will wind up on an array of welfare, including SNAP benefits. Maybe that gets expanded beyond where it is today.
Wow.
Well, they've overloaded the system, Dagan. They have absolutely sent people into areas that are not governed, are not watched over by Republicans or true Americans. It's basically Democrat socialists, and they're trying to overload the system. They've spent more money than you can imagine. We're $38 trillion in debt, and they don't care about debt. They care about power. And so if they can turn a lot of these blue cities bluer and steal money and put us more in debt, they will be emboldened to them, and they will vote Democrat forever.
Senator Tuberville, you've been very vocal about holding Tim Walz accountable, but the accountability can't just stop with him. Where else in the state do you believe that accountability needs to be, needs to be levied?
Well, it goes all the way down to your county commissioners, your county board, your city board of directors, all the way to the mayor. You heard what the mayor and the city chief of police said. I mean, they have totally taken over Minneapolis. I've been there. I've seen it before the Somalians got there, which was a great city. It was all American. Now you go in there and it is I mean, it doesn't look like our country. It's a disaster.
Let me tell you this, and the people that are fleeing, guys, this is the part where, again, it's all about, in a sense, trying to make sure that people in America want to live in the best place possible where they have the most freedom. And you've got these states where people are like, I'm fed up with it. I'm moving to a red state. I want my freedoms back. And now you've got like these governors like Gavin Newsom who's trying to push a retroactive tax, including those who fled the state. So if you left the state 2 years ago, they're trying to make you pay a tax for in these blue states because they're so dang money hungry. Guys, I'm telling you, like this exposure, people are so fed up with it. It's being widespread. It's being pushed so much now from all people like us and other YouTubers that people are fed up with it. I want you to see this. This was what happened in Minnesota, okay? Look at this. Potential fraud in the Minnesota Housing Stabilization Program. Predicted cost, $2.6 million annually. Actual, $21 million. 42, 74, 104, first half of 2025, 61. So when people see this and they're just thinking, wait, who in if they can just open the door and then they'll just go spin like nobody's business. And then the program never ends. This is why we can't take care of our own. This is why, again, we're constantly exposing where Democrats are stepping over Americans to help out illegal, to try to get their vote. And to all those Democrats that keep voting for this is y'all's problem that we're trying to fix. Let me know your thoughts in the program, in the chat. Our boy Richard with the super chat, let's go, said, for the kids, Joe Richard, some love in the chat, everybody, for his super chat. Brother, we cannot thank you enough for your blessings to our family. Show Richard some love in the chat, as well as our girl Kathy Brewer with the 10 gifted True Life News memberships. What a blessing. If you got a free membership from Kathy, show her some love in the chat, everybody. This is so awesome. Like, y'all are so awesome. We're just trying to bring you the breaking news of what's going on. 2026 is going to be so important. That's why what I'm showing you on the screen is so important. We have to get our elections free, fair, voter ID. We're now suing 12 states from the Attorney General to make sure that happens. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, we are so, I believe the majority of America is fed up with the lies, the waste, the fraud, the abuse. We want change. If you're watching, if you're not a part of the family yet, please consider joining our family, hitting that subscribe button so we can take care of you every day with the breaking news. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor, guys, we appreciate it so much when you share our videos on X, on Facebook. We are here to serve you, to bring the breaking news, to bring the receipts. I want to give some special love to all those that have given today. And also remember, don't forget our partner chapter. It is open enrollment time right now. Do not miss out on your blessing. They are literally about to close the doors in just a couple of days. And right now, phones are going crazy, but they're added a lot of people so that if you call, you're going to be taken care of. Right now, Medicare open enrollment chapter goes in. It's free to you. They've saved thousands of people so much blessings. And it's such a big blessing, guys. Thousands of dollars saved. The number is 667-895-3015. The number's in the description, as well as the website, and as well as the bottom of the screen. This is to me, been one of the biggest blessings this year for me, is seeing how many testimonials I've gotten over people that have used Chapter and saved thousands of dollars, and I want you to get your blessing as well. So tell them that Joel, call them up, tell them that Joel sent you from True Life News, 667-895-3015. I want to give some special love to those that have given today. Our boy Jim Barbano, let's go, brother. OG of the channel. Show Jim some love in the chat, as well as Milton Burns, MR, Mr. K1 USA, Veronica Miski, thank you so much. Nelson Feliciano, show Nelson some love in the chat. Melinda Johnson, thank you so much for your support. Show Melinda some love also for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. Mike Hagstrom, Skyrix Core, thank y'all so much for your support. Kimberly Rivas, Robert Cash, Chad, show them some love in the chat, everybody. Our girl Alice Lewis, helper of the channel, thank you so much for your support. Deb Longo, thank you so much for your kindness and support. Thank you so much, Joanna Momoa. Joanne, thank you for joining our family. Grandma J, James Dalby, Glow, show them some love in the chat. Thank you so much, James. Our boy Richard, show Richard some love in the chat. His tag is PDX67. Kathy Brewer with the 10 gifted True Life News memberships. Show her some love in the chat if you got a free membership. Veronica Miski, our boy Robert Cash said, thank you, Joel, for starting this channel. To be able to hear the true news is awesome. Keep up the good work. I feel blessed to be a part of this, brother. Your family, we love you. Show Robert some love in the chat. Again, thank you so much for sharing our videos on X, on Facebook. We're here to serve y'all. Guys, this is a beautiful time of the year. We love you all, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.